Hey everybody, good morning. It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. So I was thinking about this all night. I don't think I'm gonna fix it. I think I'm just gonna take the engine and strip it for the parts that I might need. This tractor is not very common at all. I think in the past 3 years I may have seen 2 or 3 of them online being advertised for sale. I don't think it's worth a lot of money either, because each of those things were like $200 or $300 tops in perfect, pristine condition, you know? I think the transmission is frozen because it's a 5-speed. I've never had it so that it doesn't roll. It could have been the brake caliper, but as you recall, when I jacked it up in my van, it's not frozen up because, you know, when it's off the ground, it's not posi traction, right? So you rotate one side of the wheel backwards, the other one goes forwards, and vice versa. If the brakes were holding it, it wouldn't be able to spin at all. You know what I mean? But then again, once both wheels are on the ground, the gears would have to move along with it, so it might be just jammed, you know? And then the guy from Brandon Kaiser from Kaiser's Small Engine Repair told me, well, even though the shift lever clicks, and it does, click, 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 as if it is shifting, it may just be no, that can't be it, Brandon. You know why? Because it wouldn't click then, you know? If the shift handle is just loose from the apparatus that controls the gearing, it wouldn't click. The crisp clicks of 6 clicks, you know? So I think the transmission's busted. Even if I did swap out a transmission, right? Still remains that the steering sector is stripped. And I know it is because there's like 2 or 3 videos on YouTube. And that's it. There's not a whole lot of videos on this snapper. It's a very common problem with the steering sector. So I also looked on eBay. There's not a lot of parts for this either. So difficult to get parts. Even if I wanted to fix the steering sector, I wouldn't know where to get it. Even if I swapped out transmission, wouldn't know if the transmission actually would fit exactly. And at the end of the day, what am I getting out of this thing? $200-300 maybe? No. However, I will keep the deck. The deck is in awesome condition. So I'm taking it off my tripod and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at over here. So, remember I said that it was missing the starter, right? It is indeed missing the starter. I'm using my new 6-inch magnetic tray that my friend Alfredo Dirks got me yesterday. Thanks, Alfredo. So I took this cover off here. This is the guard for the ring gear, for the starter. And the 2 bolts that hold the starter on is still there. So I have this one. This is a Kohler starter, I'm pretty sure, right? 37425-17066. Wrong! It is too wide. So possibly this is from a Kohler V-twin. Yep, because the Kohler Courages are vertical bolts that go up. They just have, you just put a bolt and nut to hold it. So this is not a Courage one. This is probably a Command one for V-twin, not a single cylinder. I also checked out how much a new starter would be for this. Minimum $35 for a used one. So it would cost me more money to get this going than it would actually be worth selling. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first put it on its side, kind of. You can with this because it's only a 33-inch deck. I'm definitely saving the deck. I'll hold on to it for a while after I list it, see if somebody may want it. But being that it's so rare, I don't really know whether or not anybody would ever want it. You know what I mean? I'll put it on eBay maybe, because eBay you reach the entire country as opposed to just locally New York, you know? So the deck is in good shape. I'll probably keep the 2 rear wheels, 2 front wheels, probably a drag link or 2, you know, the sway bar, maybe the front end, I'm not sure. The gas tank, that's about it. Maybe the switches, seats Dunsky. I might pry this label thing off because somebody may need it on eBay. The shifting quadrant panel. Sell the mulch cover separately. This apparatus here is usually very difficult to remove. And I'll remove the engine and wait for a starter someday. You know, I'll always run into something where I'll get a starter or 2. I'm not sure. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to first put it on its side and just take a better look at the underbelly of this thing. Maybe I could free up the transmission and just keep the transmission too. But as it sits, I'll probably just strip it minimally of the parts because I don't want to take the whole thing apart, because I honestly don't think I'll even end up selling any of those parts because there's not going to be so much demand for it, you know? So I'm going to take a better look at the transmission. I'm going to lift it up on it, put it up on its side. Ooh, holy cow. Wow, that's heavy. Ooh, man, that's heavy. Wow, cool. Something be a dripping. It's water from the seat. Letting you guys see this thing better. Here's the brake assembly right there. It does look kind of compacted. Maybe I should have flipped it on the other side, huh? Single 33-inch blade. Huge deck, huh? I mean, for a single blade, I mean. Mower deck belt, drive shaft belt, wired setup here, pulleys and wires. Yep, see? It's not loose from the thing because you couldn't. These are clicks for the transmission. Click. It's just locked up is all. It only moves when the wheels aren't touching the ground. Engine should work though. Just need a starter is all. So I'm going to remove the engine now because, well, actually I should remove the deck first so I can have access to the engine bolts. So here it is. There's the deck. The transmission is exactly what I thought it was. While you can put the linkage on here and move it, right? And if you turn this, it freewheels, okay? That's neutral. Here's reverse, okay? That's reverse. When you turn it, it does turn, see? However, it's hard to turn, very hard. You have to put some pressure, okay? It almost seems like water got into it and all the oil inside is like hardened. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's rusted out on the inside. So that's reverse. Here's neutral. Neutral, you can freely turn it, right? But it won't move. It's locked. And you can take it to first gear. That's second, that's first. It will grip on after a couple of revolutions and it will turn, see? So I mean, if you opened this up, cleaned it all out and re-greased it, it probably would work. But I don't care to do that, so I'm chucking it out. This is a Tecumseh Peerless too. So there's the torn down tractor. As much as I want, you know. I've got the front end off too. Got a drag link, some shifter handles. Here's the transmission shifter. You can sell that. But other than that, I don't really want anything else from here. Here's the drag link. Drag link you can easily sell. And that's it. Everything else is trash. I did take the wiring harness off. This is kind of useful. It's a complete wiring harness, including the oil low light, the ignition switch with a key, the fuse and light switch. So it's a complete wiring harness. Somebody will use that. I guess I'll keep the deck for a while, and I'm gonna chuck that to the curb. It wasn't all that fun, but it had to be done. Oh, forgot to tell you. So as you saw, the engine, I had a dickens of a time getting off, and the reason behind that was because the bottom double stack pulley wouldn't come off no matter what I did. So I had to take the whole thing off along with a plate. It has a chassis plate there for the engine mount. So the whole plate had to come off for me to take it off, because the hole was this wide to get the double pulley off. If I didn't take the plate off, there's no way I would have gotten it off. So I had to take the plate off too. Engine mounting plate is what it is. So I got all the crap out of the innards of the deck, right? And got it to the backyard here where I can rinse it off a little, take a good picture and everything. Look at that. Actually rolls too. And the tensioner fully turns and moves too. Good condition. So I'll list this locally, and you know what? I might as well list it on eBay too, because some nut in America is gonna want it. Some nut's got like this snapper with a rotted deck and he needs it to restore it. So that's it. Been at this all day. Completely stripped down this snapper, 1350 LX. Saved the parts that I wanted, took pictures of all the parts that I want to sell on eBay. And I have all these brand new Snow Commander snowblower handles. When I bought 11 of them about 2 years ago from a landscaping company, they had extra parts, so they gave it to me. I have not once used them for anything. Of course, they're so big that you can't ship them because it'll cost more for shipping than it's actually worth. So just gonna throw it away. I finally did get a scrapper guy. He's the guy that's been picking up my tractors. So I got his phone number. So every time I have this out here, I take a picture of it and I send it to him. I say, hey, you want it? Otherwise, I'm gonna list it on Craigslist. He's like, no, I want it. So he's gonna come and get it. You got the Tecumseh Peerless transmission. That sort of works, but it needs to be cleaned out and overhauled, you know? And I'm not gonna do that. So throwing the transmission out, a whole bunch of lawnmower and snowblower handles, the seat, some poles. That's a good amount of metal, you know what I mean? So anyhow, I've been at this all day, just tearing apart that tractor, saving the parts. I kind of feel like it's a waste of a day, you know, but it's got to be done. Got that Kohler engine. I don't know if it works because I don't have a starter, and I'm not ready to spend $35, $40 on a starter just to see if it works, you know. I'll come upon one someday, and if you guys got one lying around, send it to me. Hook me up, appreciate it. If not, that's cool too. I'll just keep the engine in the back. I do have to eventually try to get that double stack pulley off the crankshaft because it's adhered to the tractor engine mounting plate, you know. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Anyhow, thanks for joining me on today's brief episode of tearing down this snapper 1350 LX. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey Henry, it's Andy from the UK, aka Mower Wizard. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.